one of the challenges that we now have is, if we think about even prior to 9/11, um, we after 9/11, there was a new normal in our society, and a new normal that we had to experience, something that we've never done before. So one of the things that the exercises that we're going to participate in tonight, it allows us to better prepare ourselves. Those of you that saw my commercial earlier, it lets us know that, or I stated in it, that so much of what we do in the future is predicated on what we do today and what we're doing now. So the first exercise that we're going to participate in is a future self exercise. This exercise is going to take us, I'm going to do 1 year. Typically it's done 10 years down in the future. And we envision and we talk to ourselves 10 years down in the future. What I'm going to walk you through today is what will happen 1 year in the future. All right. So I'm going to ask you to get at your homes, get in a comfortable place, whether it's on the couch, whether it's in a chair or somewhere. Allow yourself to get comfortable, just for the sake of the recording and everything, and so it won't be a distraction. I'm going to ask everyone to turn off their cameras, and I'm going to, so you can just get into the moment and seize the moment. All right. Okay. So I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to take a deep breath in. And I want you to take a deep breath out and release that breath. Do it one more time. Take a deep breath in. And then I want you to release it. I want you to stretch and make sure you're in a comfortable place. Release your mind, release your energy, release everything out, and just get into that comfortable place. I want you to imagine yourself going up to an elevator that's located in your room. It can be on any wall or any place in your room. I want you to push the button to that elevator. It opens up and you walk in. There's a dial set in the elevator. It's set to 1 year from now, April the 28th, 2021. You push the button and the elevator door closes. The elevator begins to move. And it stops. The door opens, and you're now a year in advance. You look out the elevator door, and you're in front of your current living location, whether it's your house, your apartment, condo. You step out and you see the scenery. You see the lawn, or you see the hallway to your door. And you see your door. You walk up to your door and you knock on your door. You open up, the door opens, and you see your future self 1 year later. You look good. Yeah, you see yourself. I want you to observe the type of clothing they have on, your future self has on. You're happy. to see your future self. Your future self is happy to see you. Your future self invites you in to your house. You walk in. Your future self invites you to have a seat. You sit down and you begin to talk to your future self. Your future self asks you, how are you doing? I want you to, in your mind, share with your future self where you currently are, mentally, physically, your thoughts around the current environment. Your future self is listening to you. And you ask your future self, what do I need to learn in this moment? Your future self is telling you all the things that you need to learn from this season. You ask your future self, over the next year, what is the biggest challenge I'm going to have to face? Your future self is telling you of all the challenges, the biggest challenge that you're going to face. And you're taking it all in. Ask your future self, what am I doing well? Ask your future self, what do you need to improve? You're soaking in all the insight that your future self is telling you. You ask your future self, what message do you have for me? Then you ask your future self, is there a nickname that you can give me that I can call you? Is there a fun nickname that you would like for me to call you? Your time is up and you've gathered all your information from your future self. I want you to take in the moment, take in a deep breath. I want you to notice the senses, the smell. What does it smell like? Notice the look. You get up, you say goodbye to your future self and thank him for the insight, thank him for the messages, and you leave. You wave goodbye to your future self. Your future self closes the door and you press the button to the elevator. You walk into the elevator, reflecting on all that your future self have told you. And the elevator goes down. It comes back to 8:30, April the 28th, and opens up, and you're back in your home, in your room, your living room, your place. I want you to take a deep breath. Exhale. Take another deep breath. And release it. And now open up your eyes. All right. So, I want you to just sit in that moment for a second, and I want you to think about, what did your future self tell you? What did your future self tell you you need to learn about this moment of time? What did he tell you about some of the challenge, what was going to be the biggest challenge that you were going to face over the next year? And if you need to write it down, you can do that so that you can remember it. So I'm going to give you a second to just sit in that moment and take down any notes or anything that you reflected or that you learned from your future self. All right. So as we're wrapping that up, and you can still carry on writing down any notes that you have for yourself. Anyone want to jump on and or share one piece of insight that they got from their future self? Y'all still with me? Everyone's quiet. Or you need more time?
Sure, I can go ahead. Um, One of the insights of my future self is I would give my name a nickname as a soldier. You know, during this transition alone, you know, I've discovered who is for me and who is not for me. Um, you know, the new me is being stronger than ever before. You know, more confidence. You know, happy because, like I said last week, this season was necessary. Okay. I mean, I'm looking at all the lives that are being lost each day, but I'm also looking at it as a positive aspect for myself. You know, those people that are no longer wanted or needed in my life that are toxic, those habits that I had, um, you know, being confined to the house, you know, on shutdown mode, helped me to see myself for who I am now. So therefore, after this, you know, my attitude is going to be different. My whole outlook on life is going to be different. You know, being grateful for what God has blessed me with so far. You know, and being able to reflect back on everything that I lost versus that I have now, you know, will put a smile on my face. You know, I will be more loving, more caring, understanding that there are people that has dealt with depression and it has came out during this season of their life. You know, I have lost, you know, a few friends because of it, you know, so it helps me, it will be rewarding to, you know, instead of wearing a polo and jeans to work, you know, I would dress in a suit or a tie, a button down shirt, you know, to prepare me for what I want, the job that I really want. You know, it's going to start now, you know, and it starts in the mind. So I would say the new me will be determined, you know, a determined soldier. You know, I've gotten hit, you know, I limp, you know, I crawled, but after this, I'll be back on the battlefield again, running for what I want and what I desire to have.
Mm, that's good. Thank you for sharing. Anyone else?
I'll go.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Anthony took a lot of some of my thoughts about my future self. I too feel like this time and even before this time has been a very trying time for me, but the nickname that my future self would give me would be a conqueror, and to keep pressing through to that point, you know, that I didn't give up, that I didn't throw in the towel, that I didn't give up on myself. And I'm thankful for those that are in my circle that weren't critical, they weren't, you know, destructive to me, but they actually helped me get to that point of being a conqueror and seeing myself in that better, happy place, in a better position, in a better mind frame, you know, compared to what has taken place during this time, before this time, leading up to that year. And I also recognized it was a rebuilding process. So some of the things had to happen to get my attention, but it also happened so that I could prove to myself, or in essence, sort of prove to the world that I didn't give up, that I didn't throw in the towel, that I didn't say, okay, enough is enough and just lay down and die, but that I kept pressing, and that I had that ever determined spirit to get to that future self. And along the way, even gain some additional support, some additional good people that came along and helped garner that spirit of confidence in me.
Yeah, it's powerful. Thank you for sharing, Stacey. Thinking about, as you know, going through this exercise, I remember the first time that I went through it, there were some things that I really got excited about. And I just want to point out that as we went through this exercise, the main point, or one of the largest points that I really want you to hold on to, is that everyone survived. Everyone came out, and everyone was in a better place. We started off with envisioning, you walked up to the door and you met your future self. And so was there anything that, as we were going through this exercise, that you really got excited about?
I actually did. So it was like I saw myself in that better place, and in my mind, it wasn't that far off. So I could see myself still pressing toward it because it wasn't that far off, and so I could still grasp that place, because it's not like it's 10 years away. It's only a year away. So I took the time frame to say, oh, this is not long as it has been. This is shorter now than it was when I first started. So that helped me to continue to press to that future self, because I saw future self being happier, and I saw that future self being in a place where I wanted to be. And so, yeah, it was a happy moment to, just the excitement or the anticipation of waiting for that year to culminate and see all of the things that you imagine and envision happening and getting to that place. So it did produce some happy thoughts along the journey. You get knocked down, but you got back up.
Right.
So yeah, it did produce some happy thoughts for me.
Okay. Anyone else? Chris, Aaron, or Johnny? I know Johnny, you just jumped on. Anyone else experience any happy?
Yeah, I did. It's Chris. It's a pretty deep exercise. It was kind of mind blowing, actually. I think when I saw my future self, I named him Survivor. And I just saw just a better version of me, just a more well put together me, stronger, grateful, peaceful, content. I even saw, a more financially stable me. One of the things that I pictured was when I walked into, I pictured myself in the same apartment that I'm in now, but it looked different. It looked furnished. It looked like, something that was intentionally done. I saw pictures on the wall. Right now, I don't have any pictures. And just I asked my future self, what do I need to be doing now or learning now? And what I heard was just be consistent with getting those things in order for your business and the things that you aspire to do. Just stay consistent with, getting things done one by one, until I reach that goal. So.
Yeah. Wow. That's powerful. I'm over here. Y'all probably can't see my face, but I'm smiling externally as well as internally, just because of how powerful just in itself to be able to imagine and envision a future, and realizing that your future can be brighter and it can be something that you can reach. Now, we have a few minutes left, about 10 minutes left, and what I want to do is the next piece to this is called future pacing, and how future pacing works is it's a shorter time period, but it really talks about what plan you have in place and addressing, thinking forwardly to address that plan. So just imagine, uh, those of you that know, I ran my first 5K, um, and so I had to did a future pacing exercise, and I had to think about what do I need to do in order to prepare for that. What's the decision? The point of decision, meaning, every day when the alarm went off at 6 o'clock, I had to make a decision. That was a decision. Do I get up or do I stay in the bed? And after making that decision, then what would that look like? What would be some of the challenges that I would have to face? How do I address those? What can I do to prepare for those challenges that know I'm going to face? So this exercise is going to think about re-entering a new normal. That can be your workplace. Some of you are going to be going back from working from home into the workplace. Some of that could be, how do I enter into, now I got to go back and operate in a world where they may ask face mask, or, just a lot of different things is going to be different. So I want you to get more so something in your mind that you know that you're going to have to go back, whether it's going back to work, whether it's going back into, we have a couple of business owners going back into the workplace with your businesses opening back up after it's been closed for a month or so. You have employees, now you have to get back. You may have lost some employees. We have some business owners that have their personal businesses and so forth. Everything is going to be different. We know it's going to be different. So let's think about some things as that. So I want you to imagine this new environment in the next few weeks or the next month. Can be in 2 months. Like, for example, for me, when school starts back, this is going to be really interesting to see how all these kids are going to have to get reacquainted into this new world that we're living in as it relates to education. What choices do you have to make? And I'm asking these questions I want you to think about. Go to that moment where you have to make that choice. What does it feel like in that moment to make that choice? I'm going back into my workplace with all these different expectations around how we operate daily. What does it feel like? What choices do I have to make for myself? What's easy about those choices? What choices do I have to make that's going to impact others? What's some of the difficult parts about making that particular choice? what's exciting about the difference? What's exciting about some of the different things that's happening as a result of what we're just coming out of?
Are you wanted us to speak, or are you still?
Yeah, these are just things I want you to think in your mind as
Okay.
we're going. Yeah. What does it feel like living in this new reality? What's scaring you about it? What can you do to address those fears? What things can you do today to better prepare you for the new normal? What systems can I put in place today that will better help me operate in the place where I'm going? Meaning, when I go back into the shop, what things can I do, put in place now? Can I be working on now that will ease some of the stress and anxiety that possibly may come with that? As a director, I have all these employees that's going to have all these different questions that have developed bad habits of sleeping late and doing all this other stuff. What can I put in place to support them with transitioning back into the workplace? From a business owner standpoint, what I may lose half my staff, or I know I'm going to lose half my staff. What structures can I put in place now to start addressing some of those things? What structures do I need to put in place to ensure that I meet some of the new requirements that's going to be mandated? These are all questions, and I know I gave them at a quick pace or at a very quickly, but these are things that you definitely want to consider now, because it will eliminate, or not eliminate completely, but diminish the stress and anxiety that we all are going to have to face operating and going forth into this new normal. So our going out question is, thinking about all the learning that we've taken place over the last 45 minutes from your new future self, as well as all of the questions about setting a future pacing for re-entering into this new normal, new world. What's your first step leaving this conversation today? That's what I want you to think about. When I get off this phone, what was the first thing come in mind? I need to start. This is where I'm going to be.